we want to talk about the responsibility to collect fossils responsibly. In the state of Utah, and in fact in every state of the Union, there is a law that says in order to collect vertebrate fossils, that means backbones, you need to have a permit or be collecting on private land with a permit to collect on private land. Things like dinosaurs, fossil fish, and lots of other things are vertebrate fossils and cannot be collected by the average person. They are meant to be collected responsibly by scientific people being able to determine their location, their time period, and exactly what's found. So just because you go out on your land and you say, oh, I found a T-Rex, doesn't mean maybe you want to keep it. It needs to be in a museum underneath proper supervision and excavated responsibly. So that sometimes is referred to as the Antiquities Act. But what it really means is vertebrate fossils are basically off limits for collecting. So that means bones and whole skeletons need to be left. Now, the other part of responsible collecting means you should collect things that has meaning. You should write down the location. You should be very careful that if you are trespassing on somebody's land, that you first get permission before you start collecting. If somebody already has a claim on something, whether it's a mineral or whether it's a fossil dig, you need to get permission. You just can't do it. Now, the other half of the thing is, we've been talking a lot about collecting things like trilobites, fossil shells. Those are invertebrates. That means they don't have backbones, and they also should be collected responsibly, but it's not as stringent as what you have with vertebrate fossils. This fossil fish comes from Kemmer, Wyoming. It is an amazing preparation because it just didn't come out of the ground this way. Somebody had to go through and with the right tools prepare it so that you could see every single bone. These are fantastic fish because you can see every bone. You can see a lot of times when a fish eats another fish. Now these are from Kemmer, Wyoming, from a private quarry. And so they were taken legally and they were prepared for us. Now, what are some of the other things that we have that help us? This is one of them. This is a fancy name called coprolite. Coprolite is fossilized poop. This is a piece of dinosaur coprolite. Now, of what value is it? Well, the great value is that you can take a look at this fossilized poop, especially scientists, and they can go through and they can find plant pieces, they can find pollen, they can find seeds, so they know what was being eaten. So it's of great value whether it's a carnivore or whether it's an omnivore or whether it's herbaceous eating dinosaur. Poop is of great value. It's also of value in fish. So when we do that, we need to realize that coprolites are an indirect method of obtaining information. I want to talk about this. This is a T-Rex claw. Unfortunately, it's not a real T-Rex claw. It's a replica. A replica means it's an exact copy. Now this way, every museum can have a T-Rex claw. They don't all have to have an original. But the reason why this claw is important because it tells us something about the dinosaurs. In this case, this T-Rex claw tells us that T-Rex was not a scavenger. He was a killer. He was a hunter. This little groove right here on the claw is called the bloodletting groove. Now, if I were to grab you and try to put my claws into you, I can't do it because I'm not strong enough. An eagle, if he grabs a fish, when he grabs a fish, If he didn't have a bloodletting groove on his talon, he would have a hard time sinking his talon in sufficient to hold the fish. What the bloodletting groove does, it allows it, as the claw starts to go in, the blood runs up this groove and takes the pressure off the claw going in. And it's on both sides the claw. So it really is a very efficient adaptation to helping the dinosaur do the hunt. In this case, it tells us he was a hunter. He was not a scavenger. Scavengers don't have bloodletting grooves. So this is a great tool in being able to settle the argument about, was T-Rex a plant eater or was he a meat eater? And did he hunt? Well, he wasn't just a meat eater. He was a hunter.